So it's the 1st of August. Man United had a strong start to this window. Lenny Yoro and Joshua Zirkzee, both excellent signings. But it's fair to say that Man United need a lot more. And what I'm going to do in this video is run through absolutely everything that United need to do and split it into 3 categories in terms of signings, what's still needed, and sales that are still needed. Because United are going to have to complete more than 5 transfer deals in and out, at least, if this summer's going to be the window that it needs to be, to create the squad that we need to compete next season, because we know full well that injuries are going to hamper us, and they already are, all right? We've already got Lenny Yoro, who's going to be out for 3 months. You know how much of a joke that is? And Hoyland missing 6 weeks? It's going to be a busy August, and it was already a busy July. Let me know what you think in the comments below in terms of the signings and positions that you still want and the sales you want to see. Make sure you do drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV if you are new. But as I said, I'm going to split this into 3 categories. Done? Well, that's already complete. Still needed, I'm going to talk positionally, and the players who we are heavily linked with in those areas, and also for the sales. And I'm going to start with, in my opinion, the most important part of all of this, and the most important part of this whole summer, which we're still yet to really see the movement on that we truly need, and that's with sales. All right, I'm going to run through the squad and put them all in here. Victor Lindelof, I think I've mentioned this so many times. Now, you might say that Lindelof and the importance of selling Lindelof decreases a little bit now that Yoro is injured. Maybe that gives him a way back in, but no, I think Manchester United can still move Lindelof on, and if it's Will Fish or Reece Bennett coming in and being that extra fifth defender, because you've got Maguire, Martinez, we need, well, I'm going to spoil it alert, we need 2 more centre-backs, but Lindelof should be leaving, and he's going to be a free agent next summer, all right, we need that money. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, same situation, Manchester United are going to be moving him on and going to be reinvesting. That's going to be a straight one. That's going to be Wan-Bissaka out and Mazraoui in for a net zero, basically. In terms of midfielders, who else we got down there? There's no one else from selling from there. Midfielders, right. There's a few I'm moving on. Eriksen, Casemiro, Pellistri, McTominay, Hannibal. Bloody hell. Eriksen, Casemiro, McTominay, Pellistri. Spell Casemiro, right? Spell Casemiro, right? Third time lucky. Pellistri and Hannibal. Boy, yeah, we're not getting all this done. I kind of thought that the whole way through the summer, but that's who I would have on my sell list. Now, you would say that's probably going to leave the squad ridiculously thin. Well, one of these positions will be taken up by Toby Collier, and I'll speak about the signings we need to make. And we go down here for the forwards. Jadon Sancho is probably the only Sancho and Anthony, right? Yeah, in a dream situation, you're playing Football Manager, all these would leave. I know that they're not all going to happen. If I'm going to rank them in priority and take out the ones, I wouldn't be offended if Eriksen ended up staying for 1 more year and just saw out his contract. He could probably bring some experience. If Sancho, I would personally want Sancho to leave, but if he stays, right, there's going to be a position for him in the squad. Okay, I wouldn't want that, but let's see. Anthony, I don't think we're going to be able to sell. Lindelof, that's 5 sales, I think, that could still happen, right? And that would obviously free up money. And money's been the big issue because we know full well what Manchester United have been looking for here. Centre-back / left centre-back. And the leading candidate for a long time has been Matthijs de Ligt. It's all about money. Man United have had a £35 million bid rejected. They want 50 million plus. If we make those sales, it should make that significantly easier. And de Ligt would absolutely be there on my list. But maybe it's David Hanko. And potentially, this is what I mean. I think there's an argument to be had here, right? And I'll speak about this because this might be completely unrealistic when I'm putting this down here, considering we all know our financial constraints, not restraints. But maybe there's a possibility that United do sign Hanko and de Ligt, and we sign 3 centre-backs this summer if these sales go through. Because remember that Varane's left. Remember that Cambuada's left. And if Lindelof goes, that's 3 out, 3 in. Perfect. And I think the only way that could possibly happen, really, is if this happens. In the way that it could happen, right? We know full well that Manchester United need a central midfield signing. And we know full well that Ugarte is the top name on that list, right? It has been for a long time. We're seeing reports now coming out from France. Let's find out if this is true or not. The PSG might not only be willing to let him join United on loan, but with a buy option rather than an obligation. And if United could do that, That would be such an incredible deal. It's not just Ugarte is not the perfect central midfielder, right? I'm not sure that João Neves could have been him, but he would come with his question marks and risks, of course. He's a destroyer. He would bring so much to a midfield and add balance, but he probably wouldn't be the long-term person to match that midfield with Mainu and Bruno. So maybe getting him on loan and a loan with an option would allow us to spend big next summer. But if we did that, we would then probably have the money to bring in another centre-back. And remember that Hanko plays... he plays centre-back. He plays left centre-back and centre-back. And also left-back if you need him to. De Ligt, you're going to bring him in as a left centre-back or right centre-back. And Ugarte, you're bringing him in as a central midfielder, but he would operate as a deeper. He wouldn't go down as a DM, but he would operate a little bit deeper. That's what we need, in my opinion, in terms of building the squad that is capable of doing what we want it to do this season, right? Because injury is going to kill it. They absolutely are. Now, we've been linked with Fofana. We haven't really been linked with too many others. I'll be totally honest, not in midfield. And the midfield is massively weak. We need a lot in there. And in my opinion, we probably need more than one in there. But let's move on to quickly speak about this man here, Mazraoui. Because Mazraoui is going to come in as the... Well, you can probably put him down in the... I'm just going to go defenders, actually. I'm going to split that up into defenders. I think it will make more sense. Defenders, midfielders, and then we'll go for maybe an attackers at the bottom. And then you've got Mazraoui there. And the reason Mazraoui is going to be good, well, first of all, you know he comes in at a right back, but he can also play left back. So he would be a good squad signing, of course, if he was to stay fit. If he wasn't, well, he'd be another, I don't know, Luke Shaw. In an ideal world, ideal doesn't happen. I'm not expecting this to happen. I'm saying this is what I would. This is what I think United must do or must aspire to get towards as close to this as possible. And we're quite far off this. That's 4 signings we're off it so far. And then we move forward, and you've got this question. Now, I'm not saying that we should be signing Amrabat, because I don't think we will now. Otherwise, I believe we probably already would have done it. But given that I've got Casemiro leaving, McTominay leaving, and Hannibal leaving, that's 3 midfielders. You've got, if Ugarte comes in being one central midfielder, okay. Collier coming through, adding to the squad, okay. I think you would need one more central midfielder. One more, kind of cheaper. And this is going to go down to the scouting. Who would that be? I don't quite know. You look, I think, is it Balocca who plays for Sassuolo? Carl Anker did an article with him this morning. I reckon there are options available if United do some scouting properly. Might not be a top-level quality player, but probably could bolster the squad in an area where we'd need it. I think we'd need 2 there. That's 5 signings, Sam. I'm not saying that we're getting all of these people. I'm saying this is how kind of weak our squad feels. And you can't look at this squad and kind of not be worried about the striker position. Because we're now going into the season with one striker again. And that's Joshua Zirkzee, who's not he's a centre forward more than a striker. He can operate centrally, but he's going to be our only option at the start. Unless Ethan Wheatley could come through. Yeah, we've signed Chido Obi-Martin, but we will do, but he's 16 and he'll be playing with the under-18s and 21s. So it's going to be Ethan Wheatley and Joshua Zirkzee as our options. I don't think we will be able to afford that centre forward. But if we want to build that squad, let's go for attackers. If we want to build that squad that we feel is genuinely capable of challenging, which is what we want to do, you're looking at a new striker. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signings on top of the 2 already. 8 in one summer, never going to happen. If I had to really, really prioritise, I would go for a new left-sided centre-back, a new central midfielder, get that in bold, 4, you're probably going 5 as a max. Would we need 2 centre-backs and 2 centre... You'd need another central. You'd need another central midfielder. Ah, man, it's hard to choose because we need them all, man. Oh, blow it, man. There's no point doing this. I don't know how Manchester United managed to navigate the rest of this window, if I'm being totally honest, just looking at that. All right? I think the start of it was strong. Euro, great signing. Xerxes, great signing. And this isn't a reaction to the fact that Euro's out for 3 months, but it exacerbates the problem and the weakness that we've got at centre-back. And if Martinez was to get injured again, and fingers crossed, touch wood and all that, but it might happen. So you have to plan for that. And right now, we don't have the capability to cope without Martinez again. So that needs to be addressed, as well as a right-sided centre-back, as well as at least one central midfielder, and in my opinion, 2 central midfielders, and especially if you manage to sell properly. It's fair to say a lot of work still needs to be done, and the season starts in 15 days. Good luck. But let me know in the comments, what would you... I don't know. I don't know what the question is. If United could make 3 more signings this summer, do you think that would be enough to build the squad that we need? Or do United need to figure out a way to get more? Let me know in the comments.